Hi, it's Jonathan from Rejuvenation Movement Method, and here is a little story about my health and the evil of heartburn medication. So, I have been dealing with heartburn for the past 18 months that I have not been able to understand. I don't really, I think it got bad enough there. I was waking up in the middle of the night. It turns out I was waking up in the middle of the night with acid in my mouth, which is just not the most pleasant idea. So 18 months, it got really bad. Like I would be distressed while eating, taking a bite of food. And I just didn't understand why this was happening. I hadn't made many changes in my life, and I didn't think about it too much. And I went to the doctor for a different reason. I'm not a doctor going person. I hadn't been in a long time. And I went because I wanted to get my liver checked. I have hepatitis C. And the doctor said, "Oh, I can refer you to a hepatitis doctor." And I was like, okay, I didn't really need to come in for that. He's like, "What else is going on?" I said, "Well, I'm having some of these heartburn problems." He goes, "All right, I'll prescribe you a medication. Take it for 4 months and we'll go from there." Did not ask me a thing about my diet, did not ask me about my lifestyle. That was it. So I actually, like an idiot, filled the prescription because even I, who was really anti-medication and anti-medical intervention, I went out and said, okay, I really am desperate. I want to get rid of this. So I did. I filled the prescription. I went home and I actually had a call with a group of people that day. And I got on the call and I mentioned, Mr. Anti-Medication is going to try this medication. And like an eruption of different stories. My brother tried it, could not get off of it. Another person said when you do it, and it kills all the acid. But then when you get off of it, the acid comes back twice as much. So that led me to the internet and anecdotal evidence that just was very much in the same vein. But I didn't want the heartburn anymore, so I took the medicine. And while I took the medicine for 3 days, only 3 days, I kept Googling all of these stories of people and their experience with this drug that is just handed out like candy. My brother has been on it, I think, for 20 years. People just take heartburn medication as if it's completely benign. And guess what? It's not. It's not that it's actively bad for you, but you kind of, in a weird way, become dependent on it. All right, so after 3 days, I stopped. In the 3 days when I was doing it, oh my God, there was no heartburn whatsoever. It was kind of extraordinary. And then I stopped, and the heartburn came back just twice as much. It really was so intense. It was arresting. So then I had to just, take a step back and say, how am I going to deal with this? And I started really thinking about what changes have I made in my life in the last period of time. And the only real thing I can think about was I started intermittent fasting about 4 years ago, maybe a little more. And for me, intermittent fasting, I don't eat breakfast till 1 p.m. But I drink coffee. And at the time when I started, I Googled like coffee on an empty stomach and it all seemed fine. Everyone was like, it's benign. It's no problem. Don't worry about it. So that's what I do. I drink like an 18-ounce glass of coffee every morning, 8 or 9. And then I eat at 1 o'clock. So I said, okay, well, that's like the only thing I can think of that I made a really big change. Let me stop drinking coffee, which is a big deal for me since I've been drinking. I've stopped before, but it's 40 years. And more. And I stopped drinking coffee. And within 3 days, the heartburn went down by 50%. Within a week, by like 80%. And now I'm up to like 98%. It's just gone. And I know maybe another week or two, it's just not going to be an issue anymore. Though it's been an issue for 18 months. I didn't deal with it. I didn't have the same dialogue with myself before I went and tried a medication that I really didn't have a good experience with. And I generally didn't have a good experience with the medical community. The doctor really didn't look at me. He didn't care. He didn't want to know anything about me. He just wanted to get out of the room as quickly as he can. Maybe I'll make another video about that. But just think long and hard before you get on heartburn medication and really try to consider what it is that led to it happening. And if it's about food, you got to change your diet. All right. Have a great day.